So today we're going to look at some orthographic projection. That's a little different, but a quick review of our material, of our information from last time. You know, knowing that we construct this transparent box around our object and project through these planes of projection perpendicular to the planes, right, and draw the outline of whatever we see inside. Once we're done drawing all those shapes on the transparent box, then we can fold the box out and see what the orthographic projection looks like. This, and of course, we have our three standard views right here: the top, the front, and the right side. And the views themselves line up with each other, as well as all the features. If they're visible in one view or another, that lines up properly. And of course, like this here, this hidden line that indicates this void inside here, this surface inside here, that you can't see from the right side view, but you know it's in there, so you indicate that with a hidden line. Okay? Now today, I want to go through drawing a shape that, you know, because up till now we've been looking at shapes that are just have right angle surfaces, right angle intersections. We're actually going to look at this drawing right here where it has curves, right? And how do you represent those curves and how do you draw them neatly in a 3-view drawing? Okay, so the big clue here, or the big challenge with this kind of a shape is to get a very neat transition from the curve to the straight side. And essentially that side is tangent to that curve, right? And you want to get a very smooth transition going directly from this radius, that is the outside curve there, into the straight side, the side that's then parallel to the other side and a right angle to this side, and so on, right? Okay, so we have a couple different ways to do this. First of all, a couple different ways to draw circles. One of the most convenient ways is a circle template. And the circle template will have labels on here to say what size the diameter of the circle is. They'll have center line marks that you can then line up with the center lines on the page and draw the circle. And the size of this circle says 1 5/8 inches. Okay, 1 5/8. The hole of the circle is a little tiny bit bigger to leave room for your pencil to draw that and still have the circle that you draw turn out to be 1 5/8 inch diameter, right? So there's an allowance in the size of the hole in the plastic so that the pencil can fit in there and make the circle. Now, for our drawing, we're also going to use a compass, because the curve that big curve on the end here is a 1 1/4 inch. Here we go. Sorry, 1 1/4 inch radius right here. Hopefully you can see that in the dimension there. And so 1 1/4 will be 2 1/2 inch overall diameter of that arc, and thus it's too big for our circle template. Our circle template only goes up to 1 7/8 inches, right? Now, I'm going to plan it out a little bit here, like, okay, I want my front view to go here, my right side view over here, top view on top. I know that my ruler has disappeared. That's annoying. Should not have gone far. You guys see it in the picture. You can laugh at me all you want because it'll be well deserved. Well, now, isn't that annoying? There it is. Okay. So I've got a 2.5 inch size here, plus an inch. I'm going to leave an inch between the views, and then it'll be a 1 7/8 measurement for the depth of the object. That's dimension here. Okay. So I'll just mark that out real lightly. I'm going to get my hard pencil, my 5H pencil, and draw real light construction lines for myself. If I have the bottom of the object, say 1 inch up from the bottom of the page, and then 1.25 inches to the center, and another 1.25 inches to the top of the object, I'll go ahead and draw a line here for the center of it, because I'm going to allow my arc to determine the top and bottom of it. Okay, and then this mark here, this would be the top of the object. Now I'll go another inch for that, and then 1 7/8 for the thickness of the top view. I'm just going to rough out really lightly some lines here where I expect my views to end up, right? And then this guy here, this is overall length of 4 1/8. We've got 4 1/8 for the length from the center of the circle, the center of the arc, to the end of the piece. So 4 1/8 plus 1 1/4. So that'll be 5 1/8 plus 1/4. That'd be 5 3/8, right, for the overall length. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3/8 would be here. Then I'm going to add on 1 inch for a space, inch, and then 1 7/8 for the sides of the right side view. Messing up here, aren't I? Okay, let's see. I said this is 5 3/8. 3/8 plus 1 inch plus 1 7/8. That's right there. Okay. So I'll do some quick light lines here. Okay, now if this is the end of my object, then I'm going to come back 1 1/4 for the center of the circle and the center of the arc. All right, 1 1/4 right there. We'll draw a light center line. That'll be the guide for our circle template, as well as where we're going to set up our compass to turn. You have them at the same center. Okay, and like I do with drawing, I'm going to put a hard pencil in the compass. Make sure I've got the ends here lined up really well with each other. You know, these in the compass, I want those two to be at the same distance from the top of the compass. And then I'm going to carefully lay this out to get the right distance. I can always do it on the ruler. See, I've got it there. Go out here to the 1 1/4 mark really carefully. Okay, that looks good. So now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to carefully scribe the arc lightly with this hard pencil. The good thing is I don't have any horizontal lines yet. So I can make sure when I draw my horizontal lines that they line up just right with the with the arc. I want a smooth transition. I want it to be really tangent to that arc. So I drew the arc first, and now I'm going to come back and line up my my pencil lines so they go right. Oh shoot! This one here, right there. Keeping in mind, I'm going to have to come back later and erase parts of these lines and darken other parts and so on to get my finished drawing. Okay, so I have the basic shape of that, and then I can use those. Wait, now I'll do the circle. Once again, I'm going to pick the 1-inch circle right here. It says 1, and then these marks here, right here, and here, and here are the center of that circle. So if I do a good job of lining up the circle here, the center marks on the circle template with the center lines I've drawn on the drawing, my circle should end up the right size and in just the right place. Which it helps if I've got the right one. Now the good thing about that is, if I carefully line up my my T-square tangent to the bottom of this circle, I can use that to go over here and draw the hidden lines where they're going to be in the right side view. Now if I was doing a really fancy drawing, I would actually measure to make sure that my hidden lines had just the right length. Typically it's about 1/8 of an inch for the length of the line and 1/16 of an inch in between each dash. And, it's a dashed line. And I've got that part. And I'll do the same thing for the top view. First of all, I can actually go ahead and establish the ends of the top end, both ends of the top view based on this. Now, right, I also need to project the center line, and I need to project the sides of the circle. I'm going to draw the center line really light for myself, and then I'll come in and do these hidden lines. Did them in the right side view. Okay, the top and the bottom of the right side view I need to put in. And I'm missing one feature yet. Don't know if you saw that in the drawing here, but I've also got a radius here, like a cutout, and I have drawn this corner up here already that using my construction lines. I'm going to use that as a way to locate exactly the center of that circle, the center of that arc. And I'll go over here. Oh yeah, the center of that arc is right here. Put my compass on it. It should be the same size as the arc at the other end. Still at a 1 1/4 radius. Okay, and that will create a visible line right here in the right side view. That edge create a visible line right there. Okay, so far I think that's our entire drawing. Now of course what I need to do next is to clean it up and darken and all that stuff like we've seen before, which hopefully you can see here, where I have drawn my arc first, right there, drawn the arc, drawn the circle, then made it so that my horizontal line here went in very nicely tangent to that curve and created a smooth transition from that arc into this flat side here. The same thing up here, smooth transition from that arc to this side, like that. Then this circle here, made with the circle template, and from here I could project up to make that edge of the hole as seen as a hidden line there, and this edge of the hole is seen as a hidden line, and this will be our center line right here to indicate, in this view, it will indicate that that is a hole and not some other kind of feature. Now the only trick here is this one, we're going to have this line have some very light extensions come out on either side to show the center line, but the object line that's created by this edge right here is going to hide most of that center line, right? And then of course the same thing coming this way, projecting across here to make this hidden line and this hidden line. Okay? Now, let's see if I have time to go over this. I have a minute. Let me see if I can then go ahead and do this right, darken it up and everything, and see how it looks. Of course, we go back and erase all the parts that don't belong there, all the construction lines and such. I am not doing dimensions on this drawing today, even though that example from the book shows you dimensions. I think we can have some exercises in dimensioning another time. Of course, if you were dimensioning it, then the center lines would be very handy to accurately locate the center of the circle, or the center of the circle as the whole, as well as the center of the arc that creates the end of the piece. Right. Now you can tell if I've done a good job of making my lines really light, they should erase pretty much completely. And I can see that I've have mixed success with that at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to take my compass and put in a darker pencil, and I'm going to put it in that pencil now. That was a 5H I had in there. Okay. I'm going to draw this circle here really quick. Darken that. Hopefully I've done a really good job of doing my constructions first. Oh shoot. Darn it. This isn't the best compass. It's too easy for it to change sizes on me in the middle of the job. That's probably going to have to be good enough. Okay. I got those curves. I want this pencil now. I'll do the circle here, a 1-inch circle. Nice and dark. Okay. And we can do, just like before, go through and darken our horizontal lines first. Hopefully I won't get too sloppy here. I'm in a little bit of a hurry. Need to darken my hidden line too. Again, if I was trying to be super accurate here, I would actually measure all the spaces and dashes and stuff on the hidden line, so it'll be really neat and uniform. Today, we're going with the slightly less formal version. I can do a little bit of a center line here. Bottom edge. Okay, that's all my vertical, I'm sorry, horizontal lines. We'll go back and do the vertical lines now. Hopefully not having to drag the instruments across the drawing too many times and create a lot of smudges. The black graphite, especially if you're using a soft pencil, puts a lot of graphite down on the page, and that will be easy to smudge and make it look messy. Center line. Center line. And if I was doing dimensions, I could extend those center lines outwards so they would go off past the edge of the object and be convenient to use them for dimensioning. Basically, you know, when you dimension a hole, in addition to saying what size the hole is, the important thing is to dimension the location of the of the center of the circle. Circles are, you know, almost always, you know, holes and stuff in objects are almost always measured and laid out from the center of the circle. Okay, so there we go. We should have a good smooth transition between our horizontal lines, our straight lines, and our arc here. This arc here is same size as that one. Center the circle here. The edge of this circle should line up neatly with this hidden line here, and the same over here. This center line leads straight up to that one. This one leads straight over here to this one. Although, of course, because this is an edge on this object, this is an object line going along there, right? And of course, these center lines for the top and bottom of the circle. So that's a finished drawing, and that is how you do curved surfaces. One example of doing curved surfaces, transitioning from this arc into the straight edge there. And you don't want it to be a big bump or lump or other kind of malformed thing. It's supposed to be a smooth transition from there to there. Okay. Thanks for watching.